Okay, we are back live again. So I've just been testing clay today. My clay is super duper wet, but I am doing a 100 yarn bowls in 30-day challenge. And oh, okay, don't start pounding on your thing until it's secure. Anyway, got ahead of myself, guys. Excited. All right. So I am doing a 30-day challenge. It starts tomorrow. We need some tunes. Okay. Yeah, looks good. All right. Doing a 30-day challenge where I am doing 100 yarn bowls in 30 days. I'm currently working with Reclaim, and I didn't let it dry out enough because, well, I'm trying to get trying to confirm that the 4 and 6 pounds are the correct weight. I've already confirmed that the 4 pounds are the correct weight for my small yarn bowls. Rubber mallets, wonderful thing. So I have 5 clay balls left tonight. Don't know if this is 5 or 6. This is my 5 pound. Let's just sort these. 5 pound. So the scale works better on a real table. I'll have it on a board tomorrow for when I weigh out all of my clay. This feels like 6 pounds. This is 6 pounds. I'll have it on a board tomorrow. I'm going to be weighing out 550 pounds of clay tomorrow for this challenge. 6 pounds. And 6 pounds. Okay. I don't know if I should start with the 5. I have 3 6s and 2 5s because I think I'm going to use 6s. So let's do a 6 first, and then let's go to a 5. I can go back and forth and see for my big yarn bowls, which are appropriate, which I think is going to be a 6 pound. For the amount that I look to my left, I feel like I should have my camera over there, but so this is a little bit more solid than my clay from this morning, but I have left it out all day with my dehumidifier on. So I've been trying to, I can feel that it's squishy inside though. All right. Let's see, what kind of clay is this? This is actually what I'm going to be using for my challenge. This is the Buff with Grog from Standard Clay Company. A lot of people would center this in 2 sections. I normally don't. I may need to for the challenge, mostly because after so many days of throwing, I might be tired. Don't let the clay push you around. Wobble, wobble, wobble. So when you're centering clay, you want to make sure that you're lining up your wrist with your arm. So you don't want to be trying to center it with your fingertips so much as here lined up. And that's the part that you don't want to move. Maybe I will have to suction this. It's soft, so it's digging my hand into it instead of just guiding it. And unfortunately, even though it's really wet clay, you still need to put water on it because otherwise you cause friction and um, so right now I'm having this issue where my hand keeps bumping off of, slow that down, my square bat, which is a problem. So I do have bigger bats. I don't have many of them though. I only have 6. So I may actually throw some of these on the bigger bats instead of on these smaller ones. So while my other bowls I wanted to be 5 by 7 inches, I'm thinking I want these to be like 7 by 10. But again, these things will shrink in the kiln. They'll shrink about 10%. So need to account for that for such a large bowl. All right, so let's see where we got here. Really bad about keeping my hand in front of the camera. So if you're hanging out watching today, put a comment out there. You can see I've got a couple of lurkers in my because I'm streaming to both Twitch and YouTube for the next month. Normally I stream to Twitch and put up final videos in YouTube. But I figured for the challenge I would go to both. I just saw I had someone follow me today. I won't say their name. If they don't, I don't know if they want me to or not, but I just had somebody follow me today that I play with. I play AD&D with at Page. I think it's AD&D. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. It might be second edition. I don't really know the different editions. But he just followed me, which is super cool. I have so much fun playing with them. They've been playing RPGs since RPGs weren't cool, so they are exceptionally cool in my book. So when I'm pulling, I want to make sure that I have my hands touching. Anytime I have two hands on the clay, I want to try to have both hands touching. I don't want this to go out too far. You're actually looking for a volcano. So I'm going to cone this in a little bit. Because it gets out of control very, very quickly. So because I want this about 7 inches tall and about 10 inches wide, I probably am looking for like, I don't know, man, almost 10 inches going upwards to begin with. I have a lot of clay to bring up. I normally do this with a sponge, but I think I actually want to feel this clay right now. Or I can just take a bunch off. That's also possible. Got a little thin right there. Because there's so much grog in this, I'm actually having a little bit of an issue with friction. So if you're hanging out with us today, just throw a comment in chat. You can tell me that I'm doing it completely wrong and that's not how you would do it, and I would be totally cool with that. Okay. Starting to twist on me. I didn't want that to get away from me. You can fix those as soon as you see them. It's so much better. Okay. All right, so we've got some height on here. Let's measure this up. Really need to get like a straight ruler down here too. It would be easier to measure the height of pieces. Just, one of those cheap little plastic. Because this is really nice for the width of something, but it's not And honestly, it only goes up to 7 inches. I probably should try to get that one a little bit higher. So I see a couple of lurkers that are hanging out. Feel free to lurk if you want to comment. Just want to collar that back in a little bit. Okay. All right. Now let's work on going out. We're going to go wide. So we're going to lose some inches from the height. And we're going to gain a ton of inches. Oh. Sponge is running away. Use that to belly out with. We just go nice and slow. We have no time frame. We have no rushing. Now, this is very wet clay. So, I'm going to scoop out the innards here. Quick wipey. I could not find my roll of towels. I'm very disappointed. I am very good at hiding stuff on myself. And I know I was starting to run out, and I was going to wash these all before the challenge tomorrow, so I'm thinking that that is now a requirement and no longer a want. It is now a need. Let's slow this down a little bit. So this is going to be one of my large yarn bowls, and I'm thinking 6 pounds is the correct answer. I'm also thinking that 6 pounds on these tiny bats, they may be problematic. But that's okay. We're gonna see how it goes. I may actually, instead of doing 24 pounders in the first 2 days, I may do 6 pounders, roughly 14 4-pounders. And then the next day I can take them off the bat and then do another 6-pounder. So that I can utilize my bigger bats efficiently. That's what I'm thinking right now. That will give me, I'm just going to switch back to pay attention. All right, I'm just going to switch back to this for a second. Looks like my mic's still working. Maybe? I'm not sure. Okay. That looks good. Okay, so on here, I was planning on doing 20, 20, and then 15 for my 4 pounders, and then get into my 6 pounders because I'm doing less of them every day because I need to start trimming and whatnot and like getting going. So I think I may change that up. I think I may do six pounders, 12 or 14 4 pounders, probably 12, and then 55 divided by 6 is roughly 9. So if I only do them on the bats, it would take me 9 days, which still would get me down to day 10. So I feel like that's the correct answer. I feel like I'm going to change that up and do the 6 pounders on the bigger bats. Because this works, but for centering and whatnot, and for how wide these are going to be, for like keeping them on the table, especially during that first day of just like drying before I take them off the bat. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to change this up, and I'm going to do them on the bigger bats. It'll just give me more real estate. It'll also take up more flat space in my studio, which, once again, I don't have. My good friend Kyle, he he put up shelving in here for me because he's amazing. So he gave me a ton more flat space. All right, we're going to continue to belly this out again. I do have a really big foot to this. It's very thick. It will give me a good area to trim from. It will also let me have a heavy bottomed yarn bowl, because when you're pulling your yarn, I don't want you to yank your yarn bowl off the table. Or when your cat grabs your yarn, I don't want him to flip your yarn bowl off the table, because that is just rude. So I do want this to have a heavy bottom. That is a goal. So this is 12 inches wide. So I'm looking for something like in that area for a good 10-inch wide. I know the top is a little wonky. That'll get cleaned up too. I feel like we need some more lively music, guys. What do we think? How about we change the music over to some jazzy type stuff. My mouse is already a disaster. I'm sorry, not jazzy, funky. Play. Huh. I'm just kind of washing some of this slip off these sponges, getting them nice and wet again. And really the outside one is just for support, keeping it nice and smooth. And I think I'm going to dry this out again. But yeah, just looking at this, I am for sure positive that I am not going to be able to get this with a 5-pound thing of clay, especially with such a heavy bottom, because this is, again, bottom heavy. It's supposed to be. It's and this is honestly as thin as I would want the rim of this. So going out is going to be a little tricky. We can do it. I almost forgot about my coffee. All right, so yeah, I already know that I'm going to be needing a 6-pound ball of clay for this. So I think I'm going to finish up these 6-pound balls of clay that I have, and then I think I'm just going to do something fun with the 5 pounds. Not sure. I think I might make a bowl. I don't know. We'll find out. I want to make sure that this bottom area supports the weight of the top, because if that doesn't, then the whole thing's just going to collapse, which is why I'm focusing on this bottom part. And also that bottom part is going to get a lot of water as the water falls down the bowl. All right. Oop it. All right, guys, we're going for it. Oop, it's tearing. It's tearing. All right. I'm going to try to save a little bit of this. But I'm not too much concerned. If this goes in the bucket, I don't really care. Ooh. I need to close out of my music because I hear noise. I don't know if I'm getting. Yeah, okay. Getting messages elsewhere. Just pushing some of this clay back down into the center because I want a flatter base now. Okay, well, I did not expect that to come out as well as it did. one's still a little wibbly, but I think that'll come out in trimming. Well, I'm pretty happy with how that came out. All right. All right. Bloop. This is the clear white. This I'm not using for the challenge, but no reason I can't throw with it today. This is very wet clay. People tell me, I've never thrown with it, but people tell me that porcelain is like cream cheese to throw with. That is exactly how I feel like this texture consistency is. This is kind of crazy. I'm so used to throwing with grog that this is such a crazy consistency. Because even though my Umbria doesn't have grog per se in it, I feel like it has a natural grog to it. This is so creamy and soft. And man, that sounds like such a good thing. And maybe it is for some people. Um, hmm. So I stopped ordering this because I wasn't really a fan of how it threw. And then someone else told me to order it with grog because it throws nicer. I have not done that yet because they said it gives just that really nice white color. That would be Renee from Renee Ceramics in Denver, Pennsylvania. You can go and you can paint things and take a class from her if you so desire. She's awesome. She used to do shows with my parents back in the day when my parents ran craft shows. But she does both molds and hand building. And she was saying that she really likes the Claire White by Standard Clay with the grog in it. So I don't know. I may do that at some point. All right. That's as tall as I'm going to get this thing. So now we're going to go out. And this is super soft clay. So I am very concerned about this collapsing on itself. So we are going to stop there for a moment. We are going to shape this and make this nice and warm to let off some of the, because now that it's thinner, I can get some of the water out. This heat gun is so hot that I have to make sure it's not pointed towards my hand. All right, we're gonna switch. And what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of guiding this clay and drying it out. Because what I want it to do is I want it to go back into round, but I want to gently do it. Um, so at some point, I want to have one of my friends on here that plays in one of my Saturday games, and kind of talk about. He's playing a sorceress, and he he wants a Ravnica background of a Dimir. If you don't know anything about that, it is a spy society that covers themselves as librarians. And I run my Ravnica a little bit differently than like full-on canon, but not much. So, I typically take, what my players say and just kind of run with it. But I wanted to have a good time with the Dimir. I love the Dimir as plot hooks. And I was very surprised when he, like in game, he just told, when he brought in his new character, he just told everyone that he was Dimir. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to my players like keeping that private as long as possible. So I was a little taken aback, and I was like, oh, that's where we're going with this. Oh, okay. Cool. So I would just love to discuss like the Dimir with him and like what he kind of wants for his character and what he wants for his backstory and stuff like that. So I figured since I'm doing this challenge and I'm going to be spending my entire life online for the next month, maybe he might want to come hang out. All right, well, that looks looking good so far. I'm so worried that you're going to collapse on yourself. Oh, 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 oh. Behave. Behave, behave, behave. Oh, we're losing it. We're losing that belly. And this is the problem with the clay or white. Like, and I get it, my clay has been so soft today, but like it doesn't have the grog to like hold itself up. So I can either trash this, which is probably just what I'm gonna do, because really, this was just a test. Or I can let this dry out a little bit and then lift it back up again. You know what? Why not? I'm gonna be hanging out here for a little while. I'm gonna throw these other two things real quick. This other one is also clay or white. And let's get the other clay or white over with. You're going to see me use a lot of clay or white in my hand building because I do have an additional 50 pounds of it. Come on. Some of these bats are not as worn in as others. I am going to be, I have 50 pounds of clay or white left. So I'm going to be using it in a bunch of hand building, but like, oh, and then this one is even worse because this one, there's some of that's hard, that's some that's soft. Yeah, all right. We are, and I don't even know what to do with this one. Not making a yarn bowl out of it. I know that much. I don't know. Let's see what it wants to be. Let's see what this one wants to be. I see that I have some lurkers. If you want to post and talk about clay or RPGs or whatever you want to talk about. Good with that. Otherwise, feel free to lurk. Hang out. I was working on my sound testing for my 100-day challenge that I'm starting, or saying that 30-day challenge that I'm starting tomorrow. Wobble, wobble. So this ball, half of this clay was a little bit harder than the other. I have left this out all day today to try to firm up a little bit. And I guess it firmed up on the one side, but not on the other, which is so interesting. So that's okay. This will probably, both of these claret whites will probably go to reclaim, but just trying to work in. All right. Keep hearing blub bloop. Huh. I'll just slow this down just a smidge. You know, I originally said that I wasn't going to do a bowl in this, but man, maybe a serving bowl? All right, let's see where we get. I think I lost this piece, which is totally fair because this was way too wet. Actually, let's see what we got over there. Yeah. Okay. Well, so I was talking about earlier, donating to an Empty Bowls group in the area. I only know of one, though, in the spring. I feel like Empty Bowls would do really well in the fall for, like, soup season. So, just making random bowls. So if I find one, I can just be like, here, have some bowls. I don't know if they want specific ounces for the bowls, but we'll see. Making bowls. All right, so those are my 6 pounds. This is my 5 pound. This is back to my buff with grog. I don't know, maybe 5. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if 5 pounds works. I'm really sold on the 6 pounds, but here we go. At least I'm back to clay I like again, although this is super wet. This is Reclaim that I anybody else do that? Do you hold your breath when you're centering? Clenching all your muscles and you're holding your breath. Anyway, this is Reclaim that tried to dry out a little bit overnight. And didn't dry out fully, didn't dry out enough. I don't know, maybe 5 pounds will be fine. It's so wet. It's so wet, but it also has grog in it, so it has a lot of friction. So you have to keep it super wet. At least in my experience. Again, this is not a tutorial channel. This is just me showing throwing to random people who want to watch. Because I love watching random people throw. So whenever you have two hands on a piece, you want to try to keep those hands connected so that they're working as one. And you move the clay. The clay does not move you. Although I'm getting tired now. The clay is 100% moving me. Slow that down a little bit. we're going to start moving out. All right, so I am very happy with the size of this. Although I did not hit the numbers I'm looking for. But that's not going to survive a kiln trip. think that is... I think that's a big enough yarn bowl, though. I think 5 pounds is it, guys. I think I was wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. All right, now let's do this again. One more time with 5 pounds. Bloop. This is softer than the last one. All right, I'm not crazy. This is rocking. All right, we definitely got to get that fixed before we start the challenge, because that's going to suck. Yep, definitely got to get that fixed. Wobble, wobble. Okay. Is that my sign to center in two different things here? Oh yeah, my wheel is all over the place now. Okay. See how quickly my fingers dug into that? This is soft clay. Go back here. Okay, so number one, need to get this wheel. Oh, maybe it's just. Okay, maybe I've just worked it off of the thing. Well, I'm pushing my wheel off its stand. So that's a thing. What you get for not making your wheel slower. Now I'm just having fun with clay. I did say I was going to paint today. I should probably get to that at some point. This clay is so wet. This is hysterical. Gary keeps saying he wants a mug. He wants me to make a mug. So that feels like a little bit bigger of a mug than what he normally has. And it'll shrink about 10% in the kiln. So I'm going to need to make a handle for it at some point. All right. And I'm obsessed with a color called micro ash right now. So I'm just seeing micro ash on like every piece. So Okay. I'll trim it up. All right. Okay. Now, once it's dried for a little while, let's see if we can get this to rise up and behave. Probably not. No. All right. Into the fucking bucket it goes. This is my buff with grog reclaim. All right, so this will sit here overnight. My really cool bowl over here got attacked by my dowling. I'm gonna let that sit up a little bit too. All right, well, that's it for me. I will be back in the morning weighing out 550 pounds of new clay, which hopefully won't give me nearly the issue that these guys did. I am thinking 5 pounds of clay and not 6 though. Maybe 5.5. Let's go with 5.5 pounds. Okay. All right. It seems like my music has shut off. It knows I'm done. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I just went to a different song. Anyway, this will sit in here. I'll put all of my reclaim in it from over the next couple of days. And if Home Depot would sell their 2-gallon, 3-gallon buckets, whatever, and let me use them on camera, I'd buy a whole lot more of them. So there's my bitch for the day. All right. Have fun, guys. I will see you in the AM.